What's going on, people? Welcome to Live Palace News. There's going to be a lot of transfer rumors that we talk about today. Some interesting players. As always, if you guys do enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to not miss out on future content. And if you have any questions throughout the show, any topics that you want covered, let me know in the comment section below. We're going to be talking about Sergino Dest, as you can see from the title. We're going to be talking also about a potential striker from the championship, highly rated striker from the championship that also is a national side striker, and also a player that just come out today, a player that plays in League Two in France, 6'6" midfielder. Yes, there's some interesting reports out today. As always, if you do enjoy it, make sure to leave a like and leave down your comments. Look, let's start off with the first bit of rumor. I can already see in the live comment section as well. People are talking about it. So according to reports from support, it believes that Sergino Dest's asking price is to be around £11 million. Palace are interested in the player alongside West Ham United and Union Berlin, who have also been doing very well in the championship so far, and not in the championship, in the Bundesliga so far, and are yet to maybe potentially secure Champions League football. So we've got a team that are fighting relegation, two teams, and one team that's about to secure Champions League football, interested in the player. Currently, he's on loan from Barcelona at AC Milan, 22 years old, so still fairly young. Also featured for the US men's national side over the World Cup, so he's got a bit of experience playing for top clubs. But he hasn't quite worked out for him. T, I know you join me here now. I'll start off with your thoughts on it. But he's done well for the national side. At club level, I mean, this year for AC Milan, I think he's only had about 8 appearances. At Barcelona, he hasn't, quite worked out for him there as well. But as someone who watches the US men's national team side, what do you make of this rumor and the player as well?
Well, I like the rumor. I think it's a decent shout for us with getting a young, talented right back option. I think it kind of fits for us right now. The fact that he's had some opportunities at some bigger clubs. It hasn't worked out at a couple of different bigger places. As a fact from that, the value's going down, so he comes into a more affordable range for us, and maybe he's put in a situation where he's given the opportunity to come somewhere and get the opportunity to play every day and show his worth. So it seems like it could be something good for us. I like him a lot. He's a really good attacking talent. I think the thing that is probably his biggest drawback is his ability to defend. He's used to playing in the back four, though.
As a defender, if you're having problems to defend, based on his player profile, kind of reminds me of, in a way, of PVA, Patrick Van Aanholt, in terms of we saw his attacking abilities. He was fast as well on the ball, but defensively, there's areas of concern there. When you say he's not able to defend as good, what do you mean by that? Is it tackling? Is it defensive awareness?
I think more than anything, it's his positioning. And I think it's because he really gets forward a lot. Luckily, a lot of times he's able to make up for it because he has really good pace. I think the biggest thing about difference between him and, say, a PV is that he tries. He tries to defend. I feel like at times PV just didn't care about defending sometimes, but I think he does care. It's just, I think sometimes his position just puts him out of position sometimes as far as where he needs to be in transitioning back onto defense.
Yeah. Look, in terms of his attacking stats, which is probably his strengths, he's doing well. He's not a bad player in them areas. I mean, for passes completed, he's in the top 70 percentile. For fullbacks, pass completion, top 93. Progressive passes, 86%, top 86%, progressive carries, top 81%, successful take-ons, top 86%. So his attacking stats, there's no real issues. And in terms of that non-penalty expected goals, he's in the top 81%. Of course, he hasn't had any assists in the last 365 days, probably a weakness there. But, there's been expected assists, top 30%. So assist wise, he's not quite up there, but defensively, in terms of tackles, he's in the top 72 percentile. But interceptions and blocks and clearances and aerial duel one, that's where he severely lacks. So he seems like a player that's got pace from what I've seen, anyways. A player that's got pace, a player that's willing to take on players, which is exactly what we need. And at times, as I've said it before, we need help on Elise, and I feel like Elise's game will elevate if he has that support down the right hand side. If he has a fullback that isn't genuine threat on the ball, that can carry the ball forward. And we haven't had that so far. So based on that, it does fit the profile. But defensively, I am a bit worried. Maybe he needs a bit more consistent minutes because he hasn't had that opportunity as much in the clubs that he's been at in terms of Barcelona and AC Milan, especially at AC Milan most recently.
Yeah, I mean, when I watch him for the U.S. men's team, he doesn't do a bad job defending, I don't think. A lot of times when I watch him, it's never like a, hey, we need to get him out of here type of thing. I think sometimes my frustration comes with him when he has the ball at his feet. Sometimes he's trying to be too attacking, or he loses the ball in the opponent's third, trying to make something happen. But as far as defensively, I mean, a lot of times I think he's pretty solid. So I think a lot of that too is just because he's able to make up for where he is in the attacking phase, because he's able to get back because of his good pace.
Yeah, look, I'll say this: the price tag isn't too bad, as I said. According to support, they believe that the price tag is around £11 million. And we know with Barcelona's financial struggles, they're looking to let go of players, and he'll definitely be one of those players that they're looking to let go of. So £11 million, the risk isn't as high, but of course, you want also the quality to be right. Maybe if he gets minutes at Palace, and as we've seen with other players as well. Let's look at the likes of Lukonga. He's come to Palace at Arsenal. People saying let him go, and he's come to Palace and he's been one of our better midfielders because expectations have dropped and he's had a bit more time to focus on the smaller things. So maybe if he comes to Palace for £11 million, might not be as bad. But for me, I still feel like we can do a bit better. I don't know. I feel like the defensive vulnerabilities, it kind of concerns me in a way.
If you can get him for $11 million, that's a steal. That's a pretty high quality player for that amount. At the same time,
he's young as well. He's only 22 years old. He's only 22 years old.
If you can get him for $11 million, like outright, I think he could become one of those players, a la the young guys we have now, that you see his value go up significantly after he comes in. On that same side, though, if that same $11 million could get you maybe somebody like a Sacha Bowie, maybe you maybe want to go that direction, because I know Bowie's a little bit more efficient defensively too, along with his ability to attack. I guess it all just depends on what's out there, what the market has for you. But I see a lot of people talking about Max Aarons in the chat. I don't know. I don't know how much Norwich will want for a guy like him.
Going forward,
he's good at going forward. He's good at going forward.
He hasn't just moved on from Norwich for a certain reason. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't think he would be like a clear front runner ahead of we're talking about Sergino Dest and Sacha Bowie, because there are some weaknesses to his game which just hold him back, and that's why he's still at Norwich.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, let's go through some of the comments and let's see what the people are saying. As always, if you guys are enjoying it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. So we've got Jude saying I'd rather have Bowie. Louis saying Dest is what I'm talking about. That's more like it. Decent right back. Patrick saying he doesn't believe in that rumor. Colin, don't worry, we'll get to that player. Don't worry about that. We got Tim saying please let this be true. I love the way Dest plays for the US men's national team, and I think he could pair nicely alongside Richards were we to play a back three next season. So
I think he's meaning that Dest will be a wing back then.
Yeah, right, wing back. Yeah. That'll probably suit him a bit better. Especially with his defensive vulnerabilities.
That would suit him very, very nicely. So I think it just depends on who you're bringing in. I mean, because if you're bringing it, does Adi Hooter play a three at the back?
Yeah, he plays three at the back, but that depends on if you bring in Adi. I mean, we've only heard this guy's name once. Yeah. So that's the thing. Let's not,
depending on who comes
these
in.
managers that we've been linked with, let's also not get carried away and think that this manager's coming in. We've only literally heard it once, and we don't know if it's true. We don't know what if he even wants to join. So So yeah, the rumors of Adi Hart, I know people love talking about him, but there isn't anything concrete yet that is coming to Palace in the first place. And if it doesn't come to Palace, then would it suit a team that plays in the back four, do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think he can suit a team that plays in the back four too. I mean, he does it, like I said, he does it with the U.S. men's team. I mean, he's been playing in that right back, that true right back role for both Barcelona and part of the time for AC Milan. I think right now AC Milan is playing at 3. I want to say, I'm not sure though, but he can do it. He definitely can do it. But
yeah. Let's go through some few other comments about the right back situation, then we'll move on to other rumors. Tim also said Dest and Robinson on the US national side also benefit from Adams and Musa dropping defensively to protect the centre back, so they go forward. So they've got a bit of defensive cover there. And we've got need to get Spence, CDM, McTominay, Nunu, and a striker and some more 2 loans perhaps. For that to happen,
he got the whole window figured
I don't think
out.
Madueke, the Chelsea will let him go unless he's alone. Maybe on a loan, they might let him go. McTominay potentially, yeah. But you get, I mean, Spence as well. You still have to spend it. I mean, we have to spend money. That's what it goes down to. We can talk about all these players, but we have to spend money, even if it's the likes of Dest, £11 million. That's not all we need. I mean, we ideally need. If we're talking about being serious, we ideally need another right back as well. Maybe not this window, but if we're talking about the upcoming window, we need other position. We need to strengthen in depth. So, I mean, it's a bit hard. Them players I'm looking at, I think there'll be a lot of attention on them, and also they'll require a good amount of fee as well. Let's talk about this quickly. Before we move on to the other rumors, let's quickly talk about this. Ferguson injured, Richards injured. Roy announced this today. How do I say this? I'm hurt. I'm hurt for Ferguson's sake because it's literally I haven't seen it before. I thought Connor Wickham was bad, but this is just another level. He's come back from injury. He's injured once again. I mean, there were positive talks around him. There were talks that he might be able to, finally be fit. Then again, he's out injured again. Now, T, we spoke about this in the past, but I don't want to be that guy to say when do you draw the line and move on from a player, but I mean, how can we get the best out of him if he's not playing? Like, how should the club approach this situation when his contract is out in the summer and he's constantly getting out injured? I mean, surely the for the business sake of it, you would have to move on from him. But then again, on a personal level, I think that is very harsh. What do you do if you're Palace?
I mean, the thing about it is, I think it's coming towards a point where a decision has to be made. I mean, we're talking about somebody who's just getting injured in training. Like he's not really even getting a chance to get out there. I mean, when Wickham would get hurt, he would come back for spurts and actually play, for the team every now and again, and then go out hurt. I mean, Ferguson's only played a small amount of minutes for the first team. I think that was in the Tottenham match, and that's pretty much it over the past 3 years.
And that game we lost. What was it? I was there. Wolf got red cards.
Yeah,
lots of COVID issues. Boxing Day. It was an absolute mess. But yeah, I thought then this might be it. Finally, Ferguson's back. But then again,
when it comes down to it, man, it's at a certain point, man, it's got to be a business though too. You know what I mean? It's tough to want to re-sign somebody and with the hopes that they'll finally find their way into getting onto the pitch when you're just paying and paying and paying. I mean, you literally paid this guy's wages for 3 years now, and he's never came good. And it's worrying, man. It's worrying.
Yeah, so what do you do with him?
Man, at this point, man, if he doesn't make any appearances at all this year, like I think I let him go, man. I think I let him go. Yeah, my thought process was, if he finally was able to get healthy and make more appearances, maybe make some appearances off the bench, stay healthy, stay healthy. Even if he doesn't make any appearances, even if he only appears for the U23s and he practices and he trains, staying healthy is the most important thing. Because like at a certain point, it's like, okay, this just isn't going to work, man. And like if you can't stay healthy at all, like I said, at a certain point, it's a business, and it's just a bad investment.
Yeah. Well, look, hopefully he does come back from injury and finally get, stays fit. Forget about playing, just stays fit. Hopefully that does happen. But the chances of it, based on what we've seen over the past how many years now, yes, it's not even a short-term thing. It's been happening ever since he's joined. It's not looking good for him. It's not looking
Mhm.
good for him. And I feel sorry for him because, I mean, we're here privileged. We're not the ones getting out injured. We're not the ones, worrying about our future. Because at the end of the day, I know footballers live a lavish lifestyle, but they also want to be playing, and there's also a worry about what's next for him in terms of in football. Who's going to pick him up if based on his injury history? So it's not easy, man. It's not easy. That's why I don't want to. That's why I don't want to go after him too much. And honestly, I wanted him to stay. I wanted him to stay at Palace as like a fourth choice centre back option whilst getting fit. But then again, if he's not going to stay fit to stay as a fourth choice option, then I mean, what do you do? Like,
And then,
it's not,
especially
you have to be realistic.
adding that to what we're now seeing from Chris Richards and his ability to stay healthy. Like Chris Richards seems like he's starting to have some real question marks in my mind too, because he's had now multiple stints with injury this season, and it's worrying as well. And it's like we thought all this time, well, why would Bayern want to let go of a guy like that for the price that they did? And maybe we're seeing why a little bit. Like,
Exactly. It makes sense. It makes sense. Well, hopefully they both stay fit anyways, but they will be out for the Leicester game. So that's happened. But let's move on back to the transfer rumors. So the next bit of story is on the Championship striker, the Coventry striker, Victor Gyokeres. And according to the
Gyokeres.
Football Insider, Crystal Palace are among Premier League sides ready to fight for his long-term future. There's a lot of interest in this player, T. He's doing very well in the Championship. And funny enough, do you know what club he was playing for before?
Before
Premier League side?
Coventry? No.
Yeah, well, I mean, where was he playing at the age of 19 to 20? It was a Premier League side. He's played for another Premier League club. That's the question.
Oh, I thought I read this.
He's played for
Was it?
another Premier League side. If you
Was it?
guys can take a guess in the chat as well.
What?
What team
Okay.
did he play for? Because he's already technically played for a Premier League side, even though he made 0 appearances.
Was it Brighton?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yep, I thought
So he
so.
played for Brighton at the age of 19 to 20. He played, funny enough, look, he played in the Premier League Division 2 for Brighton. Scored 6 goals in 7 matches played. Played in Premier League Division 1 for them after they got the status to be promoted in the PL2. And he scored 17 goals in 19 games, but he didn't make any appearances for the first team. And then he moved on to St. Pauli in the Bundesliga, 19 goals in 26 games. Went to Swansea, didn't quite work out for him there. I think that's the only club it didn't work out for him. He only scored 2 in 11. And then he moved on to Coventry in his first season, 7 goals in 19, 41 goals in 45 appearances last year, and 36 and 38 this year. This man, I mean, for the majority of his career, he has been banging in the goals, and there are various interests from Premier League sides, so it won't be easy. But based on player profile and what he likes to be doing, I mean, if you look at how he compares to other forwards, it's just unbelievable. So in terms of assists, in the last 365 days, according to the Football Reference, he's in the top 80 percentile. In terms of shot creating actions, top 98 percentile. Expected assists, top 91 percentile. Progressive passes, progressive carries, top 99. Successful take-ons, top 98. Touches in the attacking penalty area, top 98. It's exciting. It is very exciting based on the numbers that he's been producing, based on the stats as well. Now, I don't say this often. I mean, we've seen a few championship players that's come to the Premier League and a few championship players that haven't stepped up. For example, the likes of Dwight Gale, he was at Palace before, didn't do it in the Premier League, but also done it in the championship. It was a tremendous strike in the championship. But for me, if we are serious about going forward, yes, the price is going to be high for Victor Gyokeres, but I want us to pay up for him. I really do. Based on his career so far, he has been a success. He has been a success. I don't know why Brighton didn't give him opportunity, but I'm telling you, it's very unlikely for a player to go to the Championship. I mean, forget about this season. Just talk about last season. Incredible numbers. 41 goal. I said these stats wrong. Sorry. I need to start again. Sorry. I mean, he's got 18 goals in 36 starts, 17 goals and 41 appearances. I read it the wrong way around. I talked about starts a minute start. Sorry, I need to start this again. So he's got 17 17 starts for Brighton in the Premier League Division 1. He scored 7 goals. In the Premier League Division 2 for Brighton, the lower league, the youth level, he scored 5 goals in 6 appearances. For St. Pauli, he scored 7 in 19. For Coventry, he scored 17 in 41. And he scored, that was last season, and this season he scored 18 in 36. Sorry, before I get carried away with the numbers. I was looking at the matches started and matches played, and I was getting confused with them. But look, he scored 18 in 36, 17 in 41. Based on the numbers,
so 35 goals in the past 2 seasons.
In a way, I don't know if you feel that type of way. I mean, in terms of expected assists and what he likes to produce. But as I said before, I'd still like to go for him. I don't expect the striker to score 41 goals and still be at Coventry. He scored based on his stats, based on what he's done over his career. It looks like an exciting young player that could fit into our profile. If we're serious about it, then we'll pay the money. But then again, if we are, because there's going to be other clubs interested in him, and rightly so, because he's had a decent career so far, and it seems like he's finally settling down in England. Whether I know it's in the Championship, but we've seen the players that step up from the Championship before.
Gyokeres is an extremely skilled, like he is the definition of an advanced striker. Like he is a fox in the box. He finishes. He's a clinical finisher. I've watched him a few times now, and he knows his way around that box. His foot gets the ball to the back of the net. He's just that guy that if it's in the air, he's going to find it. Like he's that clinical. He's not a big on the ball, flashy type of guy, which I think could work for us because he's not going to be overly trying to do too much when the ball gets to him. He's going to just find his shot. Like that's the way he works. He's a young guy. He's only 24 right now. I mean, I've liked what I've really seen from him.
His numbers are just brilliant. And of course, you can't just look at the numbers. You have to look at the player in himself as well. But as you said, he's a playmaker. His expected goals this season in the Championship is only 16.6, and he's got 18. So based on that, he's still performing over the expected goals reference, and that's a good sign in a way as well. When you look at players that's scoring more goals than expected, it shows that there's a player with quality there. Where you can look at both ways, and his expected assists this season 6.8, and he's got 8 assists, so he's overperforming on some of these numbers, and based on the stats itself, he just looks brilliant. But for you, do you think realistically we can get him based on all the other Premier League sides that are interested in him, the likes of Everton, not Everton, Leeds, which is I think the main concern if they do stay up, because you can see it, they will spend the money to get someone like him.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. It's like first and foremost, with a lot of these players that we're looking at, the biggest piece to having a chance at them is making sure that we've secured Premier League football next season. Other than that, after that, it becomes opportunities. Leeds might be able to provide them some opportunities, and we know that they're willing to spend money. And I think that's where we have to come in and be major players and be really real about wanting to spend the money to invest in the squad.
Yeah. But look, let's move on to the next bit of rumor, and then afterwards I have to break my fast. Skelly Alvaro says Fabrizio Romano has reported that Skelly Alvaro, who plays for a side in League Dos or whatever 2, I don't know my French numbers. There's League 2 over in France. Both Crystal Palace and Borussia Mönchengladbach are tracking the 2002 born midfielder. The price tag will be around 3 to 4 million euros, so relatively cheap. Interest is growing as he could leave in the summer transfer window. So 6'6" midfielder.
No, 6'8". 6'8".
6'6" to 8. He's tall. He's
huge.
Tall. Let's just say
he's
that
huge.
he's tall. Forget about for a striker. If he was a striker, that's still very tall. But for a midfielder, that's wild.
That is a power forward, man.
Exactly, that's a power forward. Exactly, that's a 4. That's a 4 in NBA terms. It's a bit wild. Look, I can't find much about him because there isn't
Yeah.
that much scouting reports in the French League 2.
Mhm.
But 6'6" or 8, as you say, he's relatively young. Have you heard anything about him before today?
Nah, I've never heard anything about them prior to today. I mean, I watched a little bit of film on him and stuff, and looks like he moves pretty well for his size. He is very, very frail. He's a rail, like he's thin. You know what I mean? So um, that's going to come with challenges in the Premier League. I think he might get beat up a little bit at that size, and he's gonna have to put on some weight. But
I'm telling you, size, it doesn't. It might have to put some muscles. I understand that, but look at Yaya Toure. I'm not comparing to Yaya Toure, but he was another tall midfielder. And if you use your size right in midfield, it's over. Like
yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the height that scares me. It's not the height that scares me, but like literally, he's bone thin. Like he's very, very frail. You know what I'm saying? Compared to just being a taller guy, like like you said, Yaya Toure. Phil Billing is one that comes to mind. Philip Billing is a taller guy. He's put on some weight since he's been playing in England, and he's doing pretty well. I think that would be the biggest thing for him to be able to acclimate to the style of play.
What Ash is saying, he said that Borussia Mönchengladbach's looking at him because Hertha scouted him, and now Hertha told Palace he wants him. Do you think there's any truth to that?
I have no idea. We are the media. We're going to connect the dots.
Exactly. It's wild not to. I never even thought about it like that. I doubt that's happened. I mean, yeah, I doubt it, but you never know. You never know. But look, he's still relatively young as well. He's still relatively young. So
young, playing in the second league of France. So
then again, I don't know if you remember, but Kante, Mahrez, these are players that Leicester picked up from lower divisions over in France.
Yep,
So,
and I mean it's a cost efficient buy too, only 3 to 4 million. So it's like, it's a very low risk move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how many. That's in terms of pounds. There's basically nothing for Premier League side. So based on all the players that we spoke about today, I mean, well, 2 of them anyways. 11 million pounds plus, let's say, 2 million, 30 million pounds. 2 players, another midfielder. We need another midfielder though. I do truly believe that we need another midfielder in the summer because the likes of Luka, we should move on from. The likes of Jaro, we should move on from. Hamada will be great for us. In the long term, I believe that. I think next season is going to be his season, especially in midfield. But we need more depth because the likes of
you arguably need 2 more because with losing Sambi Lakanga, you arguably we're gonna lose at least 3, and that's not including the fact that you could also lose Maka. That's a 4. That's 4 central midfield options. That leaves you with Hughes, Ahamada, Decore, Eze, and then if we keep Schlupp, that'd be 5. But regardless, I think you probably have room for 2 other central midfielders, honestly.
Yeah. Look, I made my list. I showed it to you. I'll probably have to bring it up again, but we'll talk about this in terms of depth and shows further down the line. But look, that's it for today from me and T. We spoke about Dest, spoke about injuries, and a potential striker from the Championship that's banging in goals, and also Skelly Alvaro, a player that we never heard about till today. It seems like Fabrizio Romano is reporting that we could be potentially interested. But as always, if you have enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I had a howler with the Victor Gyokeres because I made him out to be like the next Pele. 43 goals.
I love the way you say his name too, which makes it.
I'll be honest, because I'm fasting, I haven't ate.
Gyokeres.
I'm using that card. I'm using that excuse. I need to eat. And that's why we're ending the show right now. But look, that's it from me and T. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We'll be back for more Palace content. Leicester is days away now. Palace are back. So yeah, let's see what happens. But until then, up the Palace.
Up the Palace.